On this episode of Dskate presents Gametime, we sit down with Mark Woolley. Mark is a hockey player who lives with type 1 diabetes and plays for the OHL Owen Sound Attack, and is the founder of the Woolley Warriors. Enjoy! Welcome to Gametime presented by Dskate. I'm your host, Anissa Gamble. Our goal is to promote and spread diabetes awareness within the athletic community through a series of featured interviews. And today we're talking with Mark Woolley.
So yeah, obviously, my name's Mark. I play hockey for the Owen Sound Attack in the Ontario Hockey League. I was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 12. And kind of had a little bit of a scare on how that would affect me in hockey, but I was quick to learn that it's not the end of the world. And then just right now I'm in my hometown of St. Thomas. Busy working and trying to stay in as best shape as possible.
So how did you get involved in hockey, first of all?
It's always kind of been a part of my family. I think I guess it started with my older brother, who's 7 years older than me, so I pretty much grew up watching him play all the time. When he played AAA, I would I'd carry their jerseys in for his team and like fill up the water bottles when he was playing like minor midget and junior B and stuff like that. So I think it was really special for me being a young kid when I saw him get drafted to the OHL. He never ended up making it, unfortunately, but that was just kind of like an eye opener, I guess, just to kind of see like, okay, like, you can take hockey somewhere seriously. And then obviously as I got older and older, I thought that this is something I could potentially do as a career. And obviously the Ontario League, I was fortunate enough to get drafted and then make it my first year. So it's been a great experience playing for Guelph and now Owen Sound. So it's awesome, and I have nothing but good things to say about both organizations.
That's awesome. So throughout this time, can you just explain what position you play right now and why you even play that position?
Yeah, so I'm a D man, and then I actually used to be a forward when I was younger, and like back when I was playing like single A in St. Thomas, and then once I made the move to AAA, I think at the age I think it was Major Adam, like somewhere young, I decided to move to AAA. And my coach just put me on D in tryouts, like first tryout. He's like, "You're a big kid, like you're gonna go play D, and we're gonna see how it works." And it ended up sticking, and obviously it worked out for the best. So thanks to him, it's stuck since then.
Yeah, it's funny. It's always like you assume someone who's bigger and they're like automatic defense, right? Which one do you like better?
I don't know. Like obviously, I think I have to go with D just because I'm a D man. I there's nothing more I love than throwing a big open ice body check or something like that, or like just blocking a shot on the PK or whatever it is. Like just the little things like that to get the guys going. But being a forward, I definitely do miss scoring. I don't score a ton anymore. I'm a little bit more of a shutdown player, but I'm okay with that. But obviously, everybody loves scoring, so that's definitely something I miss a little bit.
Yeah. So, am I going to see you going down for the rush next time I watch you?
Yeah, we'll definitely try and make that happen. I don't know how pretty it's gonna look or anything like that, but we can see what we can do.
You even touched about it. Your brother was drafted to the OHL. What did it mean for you to be drafted?
Yeah, it was really special. Obviously going into the draft, I was talking with my agent and kind of had our thoughts and ideas of what could potentially happen. And then Guelph was coming up with the pick, and I looked to my family as we were all just sitting around watching, and I said, like, this is one team that really liked me. This would be a really cool spot to go. It's not too far from home. And luckily enough, my phone rang. Actually, the computer froze. So we were sitting there waiting to see like who they were going to announce, and then all of a sudden my phone started ringing, and it was the GM of Guelph. So I found out from a phone call, not from actually watching the draft. But yeah, that was really special. Something I'll never forget. We drove down to Guelph that day, met all the people involved in the organization. Got my draft jersey, all that type of stuff. It was something really special to me.
So even now with your future career, you're an upcoming NHL draft pick. What does that mean to you? And are you nervous? What are you feeling like?
Yeah, obviously, I think everybody would be a little bit nervous going into something like that, especially with all this COVID stuff going on. Nobody really knows what's happening with the draft right now. But when that time comes, I'll be hoping to hopefully hear my name called, and if not, it's not the end of the world. Just kind of gives me motivation to work even harder. So this year was definitely an important year to me, and I tried to work as hard as I could to make a name for myself and hopefully get drafted.
What would be your dream team to play for? Or you don't want to answer that, what was your favorite team growing up?
Yeah, I don't know if I would have like a certain team that I'd want to play for. I think any team would be pretty sick. Just to be able to have that honor to play in the National League. But I grew up being a Leafs fan, just being from St. Thomas. My dad was a Leafs fan growing up, so it's always been in the family.
What is usually your pregame routine, and how does your diabetes fit into it?
I have a bunch of stuff that I do before games. Like I'm a little bit of a weirdo when it comes to that stuff.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, that stuff can mess with my head sometimes, and it's bad that I have those certain routines or whatever, because you don't want, if you can't do one for a game or something like that, you don't want it to mess your entire game up. So, but yeah, I have a whole bunch of certain stuff that I do that it would take forever to get into that. But diabetes wise, pretty much just if I'm wearing my Dexcom, I usually have my Dexcom on. I'll have that. I'll just have my phone sitting in my locker. Check it all the time pretty much. And then once I go out on the ice for on ice warm-ups, I'll just hand it off to my trainer, and they pretty much just take care of the rest from there when it comes to game time. They pretty much notify me what my number is, like every other shift I come off the ice. Obviously, making sure I have a good pregame meal. I usually try and have like a banana with some peanut butter or something just, small like that to kind of maintain that blood sugar level before the game. And then if I need something in between periods, I'll just have, another small snack like that. But the training staff in Owen Sound is awesome. They're always right on top of me to make sure I'm doing my best to keep track of it.
Yeah, well, that's a huge shout out to your trainers team. So you're really lucky with that. I do the same with my Dexcom. I'll give my phone to my trainer during game times, and I'll just leave it on the bench and go from that. So it's like someone's like, your phone's ringing, and I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. So
Exactly.
With that too, throughout your hockey career so far, it's pretty young. What has been your favorite hockey moment so far?
I don't know if I can pinpoint one exactly. Obviously the draft was really special to me. I think just kind of moving away from home at a young age and kind of getting to experience the whole junior hockey life. It's a cliche to say this, but junior hockey is the best 4 years of your life. And like, I'm going into my fourth season now, and it feels like just yesterday that I was a rookie. So it flies by, and I can't believe how fast it's gone by. I cherish like all the moments, the little things with your teammates in the room, whether it's on practice days or just going out to a team dinner, just that type of stuff. The friendships that you're gonna have that'll last a lifetime. It's that stuff that means a lot to me.
Yeah, I think that's like any time you play hockey or like you reflect back, that's definitely for me what I love the most is just hanging out with my teammates, having fun, and the same reasons why like my college career was probably one of my favorites. It's just you're with like a whole bunch of your teammates all the time. You're away from home, figuring out things. It's a pretty fun time. Who's your hockey idol and why?
I don't know, to be honest. Like I have a couple that I've always kind of looked up to. From the defensive aspect, I guess I've always kind of liked Doughty just because he's a local London boy. He's obviously one of the most high-end players in the NHL. And but like overall, I think it would have to be Domi, just especially after reading his book. It just kind of made me relate to him that much more, and kind of have an understanding of, what his day-to-day life is and has been since he was diagnosed. So yeah, he's somebody that I really look up to, and yeah, I'd say he'd probably have to be my favorite player just because of that.
Yeah, I think that goes to say with almost any diabetic hockey player. So that's awesome. Welcome back to Dskate Game Time with Anissa Gamble. Today we're talking with Mark Woolley. So when were you first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes?
I was diagnosed in September of 2012. I don't know the exact day, but it was near the start of the school year. I remember because we were going to a hockey game just up in Stratford, which is like about an hour from my house. And I just stopped to go to the washroom like 3 or 4 times in that time span. And my older brother has been diabetic since he was like born, pretty much. So my parents saw those symptoms, and they're like, "Hey, like something might be up here." And we decided to check my blood that night when we got home. And yeah, that's pretty much how things kind of got rolling, and ended up going to the doctor the next day, and ended up at Victoria Hospital about 2 hours later. So
wow.
Yeah.
So like, how was it for you when you were first diagnosed and having an older brother who also had diabetes, and then now too?
So my older brother, who has diabetes, has Down syndrome as well. So I've kind of always grown up with diabetes being a part of my life. Whether that's helping my parents test his blood or give his insulin needles, or just small stuff like that. Since I was a little kid, as long as I can remember, diabetes has been a part of my life. So I don't think when I got diagnosed, it was as shocking to me as it might be to most people. I was just kind of like, okay, like, it's already part of my life. Now I just kind of got to do it for myself, and not only my brother. So it's obviously, it was an unfortunate situation. If I could change it, I would. Obviously, it's not something that you want anybody to have, but it is what it is, and it's not going away anytime soon. So yeah, it definitely wasn't as shocking to me as I think other people might have taken it.
Yeah, that's for sure. For me, my grandmother had diabetes, but she died before I was born, and I know that's something I always kind of wish. But for my dad, he kind of knew the signs and symptoms because he grew up with type 1 in his family, and like he doesn't know anything else either of having type 1. So not the same, but a little bit similar. Yeah. So what devices do you and your brother use to manage your type 1?
So I'm on a pump. I'm actually looking into getting the new Medtronic pump. I think I'm due for an upgrade in like October or something like that. So we're kind of just browsing into the new pumps, and kind of giving them all our looks, and see what one would best fit me. And then I usually have a Dexcom on, but when I moved back from Owen Sound like 2 months ago or whenever it was, I left the box of them up in Owen Sound. So I had a couple with me in my bag, but they ran out, and I haven't had them on for a little bit now. So I've just been poking my finger. It's not the end of the world. I did it for like 5 years before that anyway. So yeah. And then my brother, he is on just like insulin pens. And he just recently got the Libre, actually. So yeah, it's good for him. He's had 22 years of poking his finger, so that's something that's pretty cool to him. I think that he doesn't have to poke his finger as much anymore.
Yeah, I just did the exact same with my Dexcom. I left it. I was like, I went rogue for a couple of days, and I went back to finger pokes. And one thing I realized was like, I was so much more in tune with my body than I thought I was. Like, I thought I was gonna go low all the time and so forth. And I test, and I'd be like, oh, I'm totally fine. Like, so with your diabetes, like, what are some misconceptions or information that you wish other people would know?
I think the biggest one that I don't think it's as bad now that I'm older as when it used to be when I was younger is just like the difference between type 1, like the juvenile diabetes, and type 2. You get the comments of like, oh, like you gave yourself diabetes from eating too much sugar, blah blah blah. It's like, no, that's not really how it works. But if and just getting into it and explaining it over and over again can kind of get old. So, and then I think just like the whole dietary issue of it, I think like everybody thinks like, oh, you have diabetes, that means you can't eat this, you can't eat that, blah blah blah. And you can. It just has to be like smaller portions of it, and kind of know how to eat it properly without putting yourself in jeopardy or something like that. So just little stuff like that, I think it goes a long way. That it really would make a difference if the majority of people knew and understood that much more about diabetes.
Yeah, I think that goes to say with so many people with type 1, those are such two big categories that people get really frustrated about. And then you have to continuously explain yourself and explain what you have, and you kind of like get a little bit like a fatigue or burnout from it. So it's totally like that is so common. But thank you for sharing. Can you tell me about the charity you guys started, the Woolley Warriors?
Yeah, so it's something that kind of has not necessarily been in the works, but I've known since pretty much my rookie year that I've kind of wanted to get involved in the community and kind of give back in some kind of way. And then my first year passed, and my captain Garrett McFadden actually had his mental health movement called McFadden's Movement. So I pretty much just sat in the back seat and kind of watched what he did his rookie year, or my rookie year, sorry. And I learned a whole bunch from him that year. And my media girl, or public relations girl, who does all like the community stuff in Guelph, her name's Steph, and she reached out to me last summer going into my third year, asking if this was like something I'm still interested in. And I was like, yeah, 100%. But like I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, how do we do this? And pretty much that's how it got rolling. We just brainstormed a whole bunch of ideas, and one thing led to another, and next thing you know, we were launching Woolley's Warriors in August, and planning all these different things for the upcoming season.
Oh, that's awesome. So where does the money go towards if you guys are raising money, or is it just for awareness?
Yeah, so it's for awareness, and obviously we're collecting donations as well, but the money is supposed to be going towards D camps. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the camps aren't happening. So we just found out recently that the money is going to be going towards like online learning sessions, for families as a whole, not just the kids that would be attending D camp. So there's going to be like virtual Zoom sessions like this, with medical professionals and all their different types of kids who would virtually be attending D camp, I guess you could say. So there's going to be more detail about that coming out shortly, I believe. But I think we donated $35,000 in February to Diabetes Canada for D camps. So that was something I'm pretty proud of, and hopefully we can match it again next year.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be proud of, and what a great initiative. Have you ever attended D camp or anything?
I never have. I didn't really know about it, to be honest, until I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And by that age, I was like getting into playing hockey seriously, and I just didn't really have time to do it. But I've heard nothing but good things about them. So, if I can, help out kids who may not be able to, obviously the government pays for D camp, but if I can help fund something like that to send kids to D camp and kind of be with kids who are just like them, and experience those experiences together, and be able to learn that it's okay to be different. I think that goes a long way, and that's it's one of the main reasons why I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's great. For me, I used to attend a division of Diabetes Canada camp called Dibest Camp at Camp Rotary in New Brunswick, and it was definitely my favorite week of the year. And whenever I get to do events or be a part of anything with a bunch of people with type 1 diabetes, it's just that connection and that ability to feel normal. So I think that is such a great initiative that you're doing, and keep it up, because it really does make a really big difference in the short term for kids, but also in the long term. So that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
So, welcome back to Dskate Gametime with Anissa Gamble. And today we're talking with Mark Woolley. So, in the third period, we're going to talk about COVID-19 right now. So, what are some ways that you're keeping healthy?
Yeah, like I was saying to you earlier, I pretty much work full time right now. My neighbor owns a landscaping company, so he hooked me up, and yeah, I work pretty much 8 to 5 every day, and it's keeping me probably as busy as I can be. And then I'm pretty fortunate to have some good weights in my garage, so I can get some pretty good workouts in. And then I purchased a pair of Mars blades to rollerblade on. They're awesome. Like feels like you're skating on ice almost, like as good as you can get pretty much with rollerblades.
Yeah.
And I rollerblade probably like 12K like every night once I get home from work. So we have a really smooth path in St. Thomas that goes like all throughout the city. So I just go get on that and pretty much just cruise around. My brother will come with me, so we'll have a race to the finish line sometimes, and it's pretty fun. So
that's really fun. Yeah. Did you, if you have I guess you don't have that much time, you're working full time, but have you taken this opportunity to learn anything new, any hobbies or anything?
Not that I can think of. I watched before I started working, I watched a lot of Netflix. So I got a lot of shows in that, I probably wouldn't have had time to watch before that. But even with my work, like I'm learning a lot of cool stuff, with like stuff that you normally would have to go to school to, be able to do. And obviously I'm not doing like the brains of like all that type of stuff. I'm just kind of a laborer, but, just sitting back and being able to watch like how all this stuff is built and done is pretty cool. And it's definitely something that I'm learning from, and I think it's pretty cool.
So you said you have some weights, you're rollerblading. Is there any other unique ways you're keeping up your training regimen?
Not really. I know things are starting to slowly open back up. So one of our prospects that we drafted in the draft this year, he's with my agency. So he sent me a text last week, I think it was, and asked me if I wanted to come out to, he lives in Georgetown. So I guess they have like a small, like half ice type thing up there. And he asked me if I wanted to come out and skate with him. So I'm going to be doing that this Saturday. So that'll be the first time I'm getting on the ice in like over 2 months. So wow. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can get the rust off pretty quick, but who knows what's going to happen. It'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah. So with that, like, is there any word of what your upcoming year is going to look like, or do you have any idea?
Obviously, I think everybody's hoping for the best, and that would be to start on time and kind of have, COVID kind of resolve and, almost things go back to as normal as they will. But who knows what's going to happen, honestly. Like, none of us have any idea what's going on pretty much. We're just waiting to be filled in as much as the next guy. So I've heard that potentially the league could start around October. I've heard that the league's going to start on time. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Where we've just been told to stay in as best shape as we can, and expect to start on time. So yeah, it's hard to say what's going to happen.
So last thing, what advice do you have for any young or older people with type 1 diabetes while they're social distancing?
Obviously just I think staying safe is the number one most important thing. Obviously diabetes puts you at a little bit higher risk. So yeah, stay safe obviously, but don't let it affect you to the level as where you're feeling down mentally or physically. Still try and live your life to to as normal as you can. Get out, be active, just kind of be smart about everything, and just hope that things get better as soon as possible.
Thanks for tuning in to Dskate Presents Game Time, Episode 2 with Mark Woolley. Our thanks to Mark for stopping by. Be sure to follow Mark on Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to Gametime for more sports and diabetes content. On behalf of the Dskate team, I'm Anissa Gamble. See you at Puck Drop for the next episode of Game.